In the corridors of power where history whispers through the walls of gilded palaces, one man has risen faster, shone brighter, and sparked more curiosity than most of his contemporaries. Emmanuel Macron, a leader often described as both enigmatic and brilliant. He's the youngest French president since Napoleon and the architect of a political revolution that reshaped France's landscape. But behind the tailored suits, diplomatic charisma, and policy reforms lies another side of Macron, one painted with luxury residences, sleek European automobiles, philanthropic vision, and a private life that still stirs headlines. Today, we take you deep inside the extraordinary journey, wealth, lifestyle, and legacy of Emmanuel Macron. As of 2025, Emmanuel Macron's estimated net worth stands between $1 million and $1.5 million, according to official declarations. While this figure may seem modest compared to billionaire world leaders or business moguls, it reflects a career rooted more in public service and intellectual achievement than in private sector accumulation, though that wasn't always the case. Before stepping into politics, Macron earned substantial income during his time at Rothschild and CA Bank, one of France's premier investment banks. There, he reportedly earned over €2 million for his role in advising Nestlé on a major acquisition. Later, as Minister of the Economy and then as President, his earnings transitioned into the regulated domain of public salaries, with a current annual presidential income of approximately €182,000. Macron also earns from book royalties. His autobiography, Révolution, published in 2016, was a bestseller in France, bringing in royalties and solidifying his image as a thinker-president. No brand endorsements, no shares in multinationals, Macron's wealth is restrained but transparent. Born on December 21, 1977, in the quiet northern city of Amiens, Emmanuel Jean-Michel Frédéric Macron wasn't raised in the bustling heart of Paris, but rather in a refined, intellectual household. His father, Jean-Michel Macron, was a professor of neurology. His mother, Françoise Noguet, a respected physician. Education, language, and art formed the pillars of young Macron's upbringing. While his family was solidly middle class, Macron displayed brilliance early on. As a child, he devoured philosophy books, excelled at the piano, and dazzled teachers with his eloquence. He attended the elite Lycée Henri IV in Paris before passing through the prestigious corridors of Sciences Po and later École Nationale d'Administration, ENA, the training ground of French presidents. But it wasn't just intellect that separated him from his peers. It was drive. Macron never accepted the limitations of age or rank. While his peers played by the rules, Macron was already drafting his playbook. Macron's professional ascent began in the world of high finance. At Rothschild, he quickly made a name for himself as a master negotiator and economist. But it was in 2012, under President François Hollande, that Macron made his political debut, first as Deputy Secretary General and then as Minister of the Economy. By 2016, Macron did the unthinkable. He left the socialist government, founded his own centrist movement, La République En Marche, and declared his candidacy for president without the backing of any major party. Political analysts scoffed. The establishment dismissed him. And yet, in May 2017, at just 39 years old, he became France's youngest president since Napoleon. He was re-elected in 2022, defeating Marine Le Pen in a tense runoff. From economic reform to foreign diplomacy, Macron has walked the tightrope between tradition and transformation. His leadership through the Yellow Vest protests, COVID-19 crisis, and global tensions marked him as both a reformer and a survivor. While Macron's rise was meteoric, it hasn't been free of controversy. The Yellow Vest, Gilets jaunes movement that erupted in 2018 was perhaps the biggest domestic challenge of his presidency. Sparked by a proposed fuel tax hike, it quickly evolved into a broader critique of economic inequality and Macron's perceived elitism. Critics have also accused him of governing from the top, with decisions that sometimes feel disconnected from grassroots needs. Additionally, in 2023, Macron faced public outcry over his controversial pension reform, which raised the retirement age from 62 to 64, sparking mass protests across the country. Despite these challenges, Macron has held his ground, often framing unpopular reforms as necessary steps toward long-term progress. When it comes to residences, Emmanuel Macron divides his time between official state properties and discreet private retreats. His primary residence is the Élysée Palace in Paris, the official home of the French president since 1848. This sprawling 18th-century architectural marvel blends Baroque elegance with modern functionality. Inside, chandeliers hang over polished floors. Gilded moldings crown rooms that host both state dinners and quiet decision-making moments. Beyond its ceremonial function, the Élysée is also Macron's working and living space, featuring private quarters, a personal gym, and a lush garden rarely seen by the public. He also has access to La Lanterne, a secluded 18th-century hunting lodge near Versailles, used as a weekend retreat. Surrounded by forest, La Lanterne offers tranquility and privacy. It includes a pool, tennis court, and gardens where Macron is known to unwind with Brigitte, away from the spotlight. Privately, Macron owns an apartment in Le Touquet, a charming coastal town in northern France. This residence, inherited by his wife, is a cozy yet elegant escape, often described as their true home base. Macron isn't known for flaunting flashy automobiles. However, as head of state, his motorcade includes some of France's most iconic vehicles. For official events, he often rides in a DS7 Crossback Élysée, a custom-built French luxury SUV outfitted with bulletproof features, communication systems, and extended rear legroom. This vehicle blends safety with style and serves as a symbol of modern French engineering. During earlier public appearances, Macron was also spotted in a Peugeot 5008, emphasizing French-made brands over imported luxury. In terms of personal taste, Macron is known to favor practical, understated cars. He was previously photographed in a Renault Zoe, an electric car, underscoring his commitment to green mobility. While his collection may not boast sports cars or vintage rarities, Macron's vehicular choices reflect a leader focused on symbolism, sustainability, and national pride. Macron doesn't maintain a personal charitable foundation, but his presidency has been marked by strong emphasis on social equity, climate change, and global education. He has championed France's commitment to the Paris Climate Agreement, invested in sustainable energy projects, and launched education initiatives across Francophone Africa. Under his leadership, France increased its aid to international health organizations during the COVID-19 pandemic, including contributions to COVAX, the global vaccine sharing initiative. Macron has also supported cultural preservation, providing grants and resources to rebuild the Notre Dame Cathedral after its 2019 fire. In times of global conflict, he has positioned France as a humanitarian player, offering aid to Lebanon, Ukraine, and parts of Africa. Though not philanthropic in a traditional billionaire donor sense, Macron's legacy includes public policies that reflect humanitarian priorities. Perhaps one of the most talked-about aspects of Macron's life is his marriage to Brigitte Trogneux. Their relationship, initially met with intense media scrutiny due to their 24-year age gap, has become one of the most iconic political love stories of our time. Brigitte, once Macron's high school drama teacher, stood by him as he climbed the political ladder. Their bond is built on mutual respect, intellectual companionship, and deep affection. Macron has no biological children, but considers Brigitte's 3 children from her previous marriage as family. When not leading a nation, Macron is known to indulge in reading, especially philosophy and classical literature. He's a lifelong fan of Marcel Proust and Paul Ricoeur, often quoting them in speeches. He also enjoys playing the piano, a skill developed during childhood, and maintains a disciplined fitness routine, reportedly running regularly, even inside the Élysée Palace during lockdowns. From a gifted child in Amiens to the most powerful office in France, Emmanuel Macron's story is one of audacity, intellect, and transformation. He shattered age barriers, redefined centrist politics, and weathered protests, pandemics, and political storms. But beyond the titles and challenges lies a man driven by vision, one who cherishes quiet dinners in Le Touquet, who debates literature late into the night with his wife, and who continues to dream of a more unified and resilient Europe. If this deep dive into Emmanuel Macron's wealth, life, and legacy intrigued you, let us know in the comments. Which part surprised you the most? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next story of power, privilege, and personality. Merci for watching, and until next time, à bientôt.